But let's talk about what I'm doing, because I've got my garlic going in, and already before you got here, I've got some onions sauteing and jalapeno. So, for those of you who know a little bit about me, you know the seasoned membranes came out of this jalapeno, because I can't do it. But I am making a dish called Drunken shrimp. So, let me get the beer and butter in, because that's got to reduce a little bit before the shrimp go in. But here's where we are so far, is onion, jalapeno, garlic. I hit it with a little bit of salt, and now a cup of beer. I used Modelo. I'm going kind of a Mexican direction with this. A cup of beer and butter. So I've got 2 tablespoons of butter going in, and I need to get a bubble on this because I want to reduce it a little bit. I want to cook that beer in a way that I'm left with some sweetness and sort of that hoppy yeastiness that happens with beer. So here's the thing, drunken shrimp. Let's talk about this recipe. So there is, I think it's Thai dish called drunken shrimp, and that's not what this is. So that's too spicy for me, you guys. But no, I would love to learn how to make that. But when I started doing research on this dish, so I knew there was a version, sort of like a version of barbecue shrimp, but with peeled deveined shrimp, but that you were left with that super rich, brothy liquid that's more about maybe sopping it up with a piece of bread, or maybe folding it into some pasta. And I knew there were versions of it, and I found quite a few of them. So some use beer. I found one that uses scotch. There's lots that use wine, and then there was one that used absinthe, which sounds amazing. So if you are an absinthe fan, that's something definitely to explore. But your basic formula here is those aromatics cook first, then your alcohol and fat go in, butter, and then you poach the shrimp in it, and that's it. And it looks a lot like a dish that we make here, Reagan, that you could do the link for. It's that the Spanish shrimp with the smoked paprika, and I'm not doing a good job. You don't know what to search.
Aglio?
Say again?
Aglio? Or whatever?
Yeah. Gambas. Yes, yes. So it starts to look like a lot of these dishes that look like barbecue shrimp, where it's more of a really tasty liquid environment that the shrimp go in. And it's yummy for sopping up with bread, or maybe serving with polenta or pasta. But they all kind of start looking the same. So you can, what's great about it is you end up with a formula that you can take in different directions. So that shrimp has brandy. No, it's brandy.
Oh,
Yeah, brandy and butter. Y'all, nothing bad happened when brandy and butter simmer together. But you start looking at these recipes, and it's a similar formula. You just take that alcohol, you got to make sure you have enough liquid in the pan. So if you're using something like brandy or scotch, you're probably going to use a lower volume, and you want to make up that liquid some way, whether it's stock or lemon juice or something like that. The beer I used a larger volume of, and what I'm getting is a super toasty, yeasty sort of smell. So what goes in next is lemon juice and my shrimp. So I love my handy lemon. I'm sorry, it's lime juice. I got my lime juicer out. So I got my handy lime juicer, and I'm gonna get that lime juice in there. And then our shrimp are gonna poach in here. So I wanna talk about the shrimp, because this is a technique we teach. We did it last night. We taught a class last night called the Mediterranean Diet in Louisiana, and we had a shrimp dish. So anytime we're teaching shrimp that goes into a longish cooking process, we teach this same technique. And what we do is we brine the shrimp for about 30 minutes with baking soda. And in this instance, I have my shrimp with my spice blend, which is our fajita seasoning. Let me see if I can do all of this for you guys. So fajita seasoning, shrimp, peeled deveined shrimp, Gulf shrimp, pantry staple for me, freezer, but still a pantry staple for me. And so what we do is we brine them with the seasoning blend and baking soda. Just with this amount of shrimp, I did a half a teaspoon of baking soda. And what that does, and that's just in the fridge for 30 minutes, and what that does is it helps the fish, the shrimp, not get mushy in a cooking environment like this. You know, for the most part, you don't want to cook. You wouldn't put shrimp in a gumbo in the beginning because it would just, you know, cook to nothing. So you're almost always going in at the end of the cooking process, but you can guarantee it not getting mushy by a little brine with baking soda. So a little bit of baking soda and then our fajita blend. And that's gonna poach in our aromatics. And then and you know what, guys? I'm done. Like, that's it. That's the recipe. And so you have this brothy, buttery, super flavorful liquid with these shrimp, and we're just gonna let these shrimp poach. They're gonna poach in just a few minutes. They need to be completely opaque pink and very firm to the touch. And then they are ready to go. And then that goes in, you could put that when we taught it was our tapas class that shrimp was in. We taught it for Valentine's Day, but we did a tapas class. We did a Spanish class as a private class for a group that was getting ready to go on a trip to Spain. They didn't take me on the trip, P.S. But they went on a trip to Spain and they asked for a class before they left. And we explored some dishes with them. And then they came back and they brought me a bottle of sherry and told me all about what they ate. But that shrimp was in a tapas class, and you just get a little dish of this shrimp with some bread to dip the liquid, and super delicious. So I love that I've been able to dig into that technique and find other ways to make it with other types of alcohol, different variations on the liquid, and different variations on the flavor. We're definitely in a different world now with the fajita seasoning, which is very cumin forward. Of course, it's good for fajitas. We do a great sheet pan. I think it's a sheet pan shrimp fajita that's on our website, but you could do that with chicken. But I love the fajita seasoning for a sheet pan quick meal. I'll do one sheet pan of animal protein and another sheet pan with black beans, corn, lots of bell pepper, and onion for my daughter who's a vegetarian, and we load all of that up in tortillas. So a great spice blend, just a good all-purpose spice blend to have on hand in your cabinet. It is unlike most taco seasonings, which are based in paprika. This is not one of those pink-red spice blends. This is based in cumin. And, you know, of course, lots of garlic and oregano and other yummy flavors. But unlike taco seasoning, it's not red, but could you use it as your taco seasoning? 100%, you totally could. So these are just about done, and that time that it took me while I was running my mouth, we are there. And this is beautiful. And I'm gonna see if Cameron could very quickly lay his hands on some cilantro for me. And this is as simple as plating it up. So I would love this. I would take this shrimp and tuck it into a tortilla in a second. I would put that on top of a salad. It would be delicious. You could serve it with some crusty bread. And I'm gonna put it in this shallow dish here that I have. You wanna serve that with some lime. Hello, Lee Kidder. You're gonna serve that with some lime, and I've got a couple of little tortillas on the side. So let me tell you what Cameron's doing right now. He's in the refrigerator and he's eating leaves because he can't tell which one's parsley and which one's cilantro. We are professionals like that, you guys. So you want to finish this off with cilantro. I'm going to make you get something else, Cameron, a scallion. So this loves a big handful of chopped cilantro and like one whole scallion sliced in there. Just at the end, let it be crunchy, let it be bright, let it brighten up what's happening in here. But while he's doing that, I'm going to give it a taste to make sure my seasonings are where I want them to be, or see if I maybe need a little bit of salt. But this liquid is brothy and super flavorful, and it's beautiful too. And just in that little while, that little bit of butter gave it some body, and it really, really looks wonderful. So he is furiously chopping my cilantro for me. Heck yeah. That's really good. Lots of cumin. Ooh, and the oregano from that fajita seasoning. Really, really good, you guys. Perfect heat. I did a good job with those seeds and membranes. But we're going to hit it with some cilantro. And look at this. Look at what he did for me. Thank you, Cameron. All right, we're going to fold most all of that in and get that served up. So there you go, drunken shrimp, you guys. You might have what you need. If you're like me and you keep Louisiana shrimp in your freezer, you might have what you need to make this right now. Don't have beer, use wine. You could use brandy, you could use whiskey. Really, really yummy, great little appetizer. And I'm gonna serve it up right here with my tortillas and my lime. Amazing. And so, perfect timing. We've got Cinco de Mayo coming up. We've got Mother's Day coming up. Mom would love this. You could make this for Mom and make her a little snack. But Cinco de Mayo and Mother's Day, perfect dish. Came together quickly. Bum, ba-da-da. Drunken shrimp, you guys. Make some and then tell me how it comes out, and I will see you guys next time. This is always fun for me. I appreciate you watching. We'll see you next week. Let us know what you want us to cook, and I'll certainly do that, but we'll see you next week, and have a great weekend. Bye, guys.